futures and fakers for the franchises. The way we're going to do this is there's 3 quarterbacks we're going to bring up. There's 6 of us. 2 people argue for that quarterback. And whoever goes first makes their argument. The other person has to make the opposite argument. So even if you disagree, you got to make the argument. So let's just make this a little more interesting. Let's get ready. So I'm going to pick who I want to go against. I want to go against Zach because I know we have contrasting views on Tyrod Taylor in San Diego. So, Zach, I'll let you go first.
We're in LA now, so you already –
it's always San Diego to me.
For Zach already.
All right.
Am I going first?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so the thing Anthony Lynn values most, he's made this very clear, is he wants a quarterback who can take control of the football and doesn't turn it over. Phillip Rivers last year turned the ball over a ton. It bothered Lynn a lot. So they bring in Tyrod Taylor, somebody who is very, very, very historic for not turning the football over, super low interceptions. He's never thrown more than 6 in a season. So someone who values the run game a lot. They re-signed Eckler, Justin Jackson. I imagine they're going to go in the draft for another running back. He's not looking for someone who's going to throw the ball down the field a ton. He's looking for someone who can hand it off, who can hit his receivers, and he has some really good ones. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry coming back. He's got a lot of around him. He doesn't need to make plays. He just needs to kind of not turn it over, and they'll win games because they have a great defense and really good playmakers around him.
I'm just going to refute that point completely. I mean, you could take care of the ball, but if you're not winning, it's not worth it. I mean, Tyrod Taylor can be a safe quarterback all he wants. I mean, why? Who cares about 6 interceptions if you're 7-9? Who cares about it? I mean, the stats show it's great, but Tyrod Taylor is not a proven winner. It's not a good pick. They have to move on. They have to plan for the future. The future is winning in LA. See, I changed it. I didn't say San Diego again. So they have to plan on a winning future. LA is falling apart. No one goes to the Chargers games. No one's going to watch Tyrod Taylor throw for 100 yards and 1 touchdown and be like, wow, that was a great performance. So when the Chargers are 6-10, 7-9, and Tyrod Taylor has 8 interceptions in the season, you can go pat him on the back. Tyrod Taylor is a faker. He's not the future.
Yeah, I mean, they're such a good team around him. Rivers actively lost them games last year. I look at Tyrod, and he's not the flashiest guy. Maybe he's not your quarterback for the next 10 years. But right now, the Chargers have a team that can actually compete deep into the playoffs. And Tyrod, he can take them there. He really does. He has everything around him, and he's a guy that doesn't make a ton of mistakes. And that's really what that coaching staff values. I see Tyrod Taylor as someone who could make a deep playoff run. And I know as an Eagle fan, I never really thought Nick Foles was going to be a Super Bowl MVP. You never know.
All right, fair point. I'll always believe she's a faker. I just don't think he's anything special. I don't think he's a proven winner. But good point, Zach. All right, so we're going to move on to Reed and JP now. We're going to do Jared Stidham in New England. So we'll let JP go first. And then Reed has to
I'm going to go against. Well, I do feel like Belichick can really turn anyone around from the small sample size that he has had. He has he's a quarterback rating of 18.7, which is abysmal. And I know it's a very small sample size, but it's a sample size nonetheless. And I just simply can't see them going very far with him. Although they do have a good team built around him, I can see them going, 8-8 at most with him. So.
All right, Reed, let's see what you got.
I could see Belichick making Stidham I could see him making him like a franchise quarterback, I guess. When you think about Belichick, he's literally the Patriots. They've been a dynasty for 20 years now. And we've just seen him in the past just get the best out of each of their players on offense and defense. And if not, they could use Stidham for this year. Maybe they not tank because I don't believe Belichick's trying to tank, but they get one of those 2 quarterbacks next year. So.
All right, JP, got anything to say about that?
I mean, well, I don't think they'd be awful with him. It's definitely not the move they're looking to make right now. I still believe that Belichick wants to be a top contender for at least 3-4 more years. So they're looking for a flashier option. So
I have one more question for you, JP.
Yes.
Do you think Stidham's even going to start, or do you think it's going to be Hoyer or even Jordan Love? I mean, do you think Stidham's going to start week 1?
I mean, it really depends who they draft. If they draft Jordan Love, I feel like they're gonna start Jordan Love. But I feel like he might get the ball eventually if nothing works out. But I don't think he's gonna see any real playing time.
All right, so Adam and Diag really going to like this one. So originally we had Minshew on our list of fakers and futures, but I want to put out Sam Darnold. Just have a little fun with this. So we'll let Adam go first. We'll let Adam defend his quarterback.
Wait. So I have to go against him, right?
Yo, you're going against him regardless. We know.
All right.
So Adam, let's hear why Sam Darnold is the future.
With the weapons that he's had and the coaching staff.
Yeah, you can interrupt whenever. I want this one to be good.
The weapons and coaching staff. Look at their record.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't have it either. He doesn't have a coaching staff or the weapons, and he's still not doing that bad.
Coaching staff, I agree with. They don't have a good coaching staff.
And you think they have weapons?
Le'Veon, Robbie Anderson. You're big on freaking
Robbie's not
Herndog.
there anymore.
Well,
But he was out the entire season. And Robbie Anderson's good, but he's nothing special. And Le'Veon's only good when he has a good O-line. He's a great receiving back, but they need to get Le'Veon involved, which is why they should take a first-round pick should be an O-lineman, so they get Le'Veon more involved. And then it creates more play action, makes it easier for Darnold.
Yeah, but who do they have to catch the ball?
I mean, that's an issue for not this season because I hope they draft a receiver in the second round.
Jamison Crowder.
I mean, Quincy Nunwa's not bad.
Oh my God.
Nunwa is not bad.
And Nunwa's not that bad. But still, Darnold's going to be – if he's not the future, then I don't know who is because he's done the best that he could with what he's been given.
I mean, I can't disagree with you. I know I'm supposed to. I think Darnold is – I'm just going to say how I feel. I think Darnold is he is the man for the Jets. Do I think he's better than other young quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Daniel Jones? I don't think so. I guess you got to see how it plays out. You can't really judge right now, but I think Darnold has a good future in store for him. But it won't be as
definitely in the
promising.
future. He's gonna have a breakout season.
All right, Adam. Well, is that your final point? We're good on this argument. We're good on the Sam Darnold argument.
Bob, let me throw out a question. Who do you guys think is going to have a better career, Darnold or Baker?
Darnold.
Ooh, Darnold. I don't like Baker at all.
Baker's not good. Baker's had the weapons, and he's still not good.
Yeah, Baker has Odell and Jarvis, and they still.
And I know that the Browns, Zach, the Browns' line is bad, but Nick Chubb led the league in rushing yards, so he had a good running game to help him out.
Yeah,
and they
Baker
still
screwed
didn't
up.
win. And he had Odell and Jarvis, and they still didn't win.
Plus his personality, that whole locker room definitely is butting heads.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Baker sucks.
I'm gonna say Sam Darnold. I gotta go with Sam Darnold because before I would say it was week 14 or week 15 of last season, Baker was my boy. He was on my fantasy team. I went to a playoff game and he was going with the Bengals. I started him over Jameis Winston. And Baker decided to throw 3 interceptions against an abysmal Bengals defense. I don't think Baker's anything special. I think the hype around Baker when he got drafted threw everybody off, and the Browns made a huge mistake. So I think even if Darnold is like average, he's going to be better than Baker.
As a Bills fan, I think Darnold's going to have the way better career.
That night.
So we all hate Baker. So let's put it down.
Baker sucks.
Yeah.
I think Baker's going to have a better career than Darnold when it's all said and done.
Oh, here comes Zach. Here comes Zach.
I think Baker's going to have a better career. I do.
How?
He has a way better team around him right now. New coach. I think the new coaching
And he
staff
still
is
has the
everything.
same
That
record
was
as the
most
Jets.
Dysfunctional organization.
Yeah,
you
the
could
Jets
find.
suck.
Yeah, Darnold cannot succeed with Gase as his coach and with no weapons.
Like, if
Baker
the
has
Browns,
a better team around him. It's so much easier for him.
it is, and the Browns have a much better roster than the Jets, and the Jets still finish with the same amount of wins. So Baker's not that good. He's not doing anything to put them over the top.
We've seen Baker on the herd, and we know he's a backwards hat kind of guy. Not the guy you want to be in your franchise.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't think he has the maturity what is he, 25 right now? And
Yeah, he's
Darnold's what,
old.
22? Yeah.
He's too old. Nothing like everything that's pointing against Baker. Like I don't know why you'd want him over Darnold, and I don't know why you think he's gonna be better than Darnold. It makes no
I think
sense.
he's have a better career. I'm not sold on either of them as being better than the other
It's
right
still
now.
the same thing though, because
That
yeah, you
doesn't-
call the Jets dysfunctional,
think-
but look at the Browns. They're not much better.
I think the Browns might turn some heads this year. I think they have a really good roster, and hopefully with the new coaching staff, it might click. If they draft an offensive line, that's a complete offense, and that defense is pretty good as well. They're getting
It's a
Garrett
complete
back.
offense, but you still have Baker at quarterback, so you're screwed. And then you don't have any defense. And then again,
I
you
agree
don't
with
know,
Adam.
and you don't know about the coaching because they change coaches every year, so you don't know.
The Jets also kill
They have the new
players, though.
GM. That's the big difference. The big difference.
I
GM
mean,
coach that will actually get along. They brought each other in together.
I
this
think
time.
we'd just leave this up as an open argument because this is a great point. I mean, we didn't have any intentions of discussing Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold, but I mean, it's a very valid argument. It's very strong argument. But we're